Here we go. Hello, hello, good people. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday afternoon for me. Receive my greetings according to your time zone. How's your day? Hope you guys had a good day. For those who are wrapping up your day, but for me, I'm somewhere in the middle. Okay. Had some things to do this morning, so we adjusted the time, but I'm here. For those who are coming across me for the first time, my name is Betty Small. My page is Learn and Grow with Betty Small. All right. It's you're gonna find it in the comments here in a little bit. Okay. I have an assistant in the background. Can you imagine? How nice. So we're still talking about this topic of relationships. And we talked about the red flags and green lights of relationships in general last time. And we say this time we are going to talk more about romantic relationships, right? So I figured out as I was preparing for this, I said, we always like to shine the light to other people, right? And point a finger to other people and say, okay, it's the mistake of the other person. If only I had gotten the right person, if only I had gotten the person with these qualities A, B, and C, I would have been in a better position. So I figured out, well, how about this time? Instead of pointing a finger to somebody else, how about we explore ourselves? What are you as a person bringing to the table? Leave alone what you're going to be looking in the other person. Okay. Yes, you're going to try to find a person that matches you the most possible way that you can. But the question is, if you is are you the right person in the in the first place? You can't be requiring things of other people that you yourself cannot even deliver or that you cannot even measure up to. I've seen people, um, of course, I'm past the age of, finding the significant other and all that. I'm married, I have kids and all that. But of course, I've been through that stage whereby uh, me with my friends along, you have this long list of the kind of a person that you want and very high standards. Well, at least for me and my friends, we had very high standards. Yeah, I'm one of those people that wanted to marry a man of God, a pastor, or something like that when I was younger. But of course, as I grew up and as I got older and I realized what comes with being a pastor's wife or something of that capacity, it ain't a walk in the park. Okay, you have to be, I don't even know. The demands of it are not something that I wanted to do or I wanted to become. So, in order to be me and, be comfortable in my own skin, at the same time, don't put too much demands on myself, I had to scratch off the list. The fact that I wanted to marry a pastor. Okay, so my husband is not a pastor, he's just a regular guy, and I just love him for who he is. Because God forbid, if I had married that pastor, I probably wouldn't be what he would have wanted me to be. So, yeah, I'm just a regular girl who loves the Lord. I do what I need to do, but I just don't need to be over extreme and dramatic about it. So, yeah, today we are just going to try to shine the light on ourselves and try to figure out, okay, we have these demands of what we want in the person that we want to maybe spend the rest of our life with, right? But you as a person, what do you have to offer? What are you bringing to the table? Okay? Those are the things that we are going to be talking about today. We are going to shine a light through ourselves and try to figure out, okay, if I'm demanding these things of the other person, am I able to offer the same? Because they're probably going to be looking for the same things in you. Okay, if you're gonna be saying, oh, I want, like I used to say, I want a pastor I don't want somebody that drinks. I don't want somebody that does A, B, C, D, whatever that you have on your list. Are you doing those things yourselves? Are you able to serve in the same capacity that you're asking of somebody else? Question number one. So if you can't offer those things, then I would urge you to cancel some of those things off your list and just come down some notches down, okay? And then try to find somebody that probably has similar qualities to you, that you're not putting so much on yourself trying to become maybe somebody else by going by the standards of the person that you're looking for. Okay. All right. Without going too far, let's just come back to the topic. All right. So the question is, you as a woman, as a man who wants to be in a relationship with somebody else, what are you bringing to the table? You cannot come to the table empty handed. Even in just normal life. Like now, we had an event this past Saturday with fellow ladies from my community. Before, it used to be like one person will labor and do all the cooking. They invite you, you go, you sit down, you eat, you chit chat, make the whole place dirty, litter the whole place, and then, hey, bye, see you next time. People used to do that. Like I used to host parties whereby, people would just come, eat, and go. A few people here and there will bring a dish to share or something like that. But in most cases, you find that in modern times, people don't just come empty handed. You have to bring, nobody says you have to, but it has become kind of the norm. Like, please don't leave the host all the job of doing all the cooking, of doing all the grocery shopping and the water and the drinks, and then eat and leave them to clean everything. Even in modern times, you come with a dish to share, and then you still want to help up with the cleanup or something like that, unless the host absolutely says you don't have to do this. And I know sometimes the host may say, oh no, you don't have to, but just do what you can, because they just don't want to make you feel like, oh, you're coming here to help, clean their house or something like that. But it's a good gesture. If somebody has hosted you in their house, you guys have eaten, you've had a good time, it's just common courtesy to help clean up whatever you can. And then, if they want to involve other professional services to come and do further cleaning, but the general cleaning, yeah, at least help with that. So the same thing in relationships. You don't want to start a relationship, especially if you're looking to taking down the lines of marriage. You can't just come empty handed. Okay. And so as I was looking at all this, I figured out, well, the first thing I would do if I was the one, okay? First thing you want to do is have a clear understanding of who you are as a person. Because then that helps you to narrow down your list, because you have an understanding, okay, this is Betty, all right? How old is Betty? Okay. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Okay. What are my plans? Where am I in life? What is my financial status? What can I or can I not do? Okay. What are my responsibilities? Am I still helping my siblings? Am I helping my parents? What am I doing? Where exactly am I going in life? Am I still in school? How long do I need to go before I finish this school? If I get in this relationship, what would be the effect? All these things are part of you understanding yourself. Because a lot of times people jump into relationships when they don't even who they don't know. They think they know who they are, but they really don't. And how do you know who you are? You study your habits, you study the things that you do, and you try to understand, why do you do what you do? Okay. Why do you do what you do? If you're a person who likes to sleep in the morning and don't want to be bothered and don't want to do, you have to understand yourself. Why do I like to sleep in the morning? Why do I not want to wake up and go to work or go do whatever you need to do to build a nation or make yourself a better person? Why do you not want to do that? Why do you, for example, like your own quiet time? What's the benefit of you having your own quiet time? Why do you, for example, people who like to go out and exercise, ride a bike or whatever, something like that? If you like to have some personal time, why do you like to do that? Because these are things that you're probably going to practice even after you meet somebody else and get in a relationship with them. So you have to understand yourself. Why do you do these things? If you like to do things like journaling, if you like to do things like hanging out with your friends or going to a certain place, maybe I see people sometimes just go to a coffee place and sit down and they do their work over there. I couldn't do that. That is not something that I could be able to do, just to go sit in a restaurant. My mind would not be able to focus enough with the people coming and going and all that. I mean, I know there's the headphones and all that, but I couldn't. That's just too much commotion for me. Yeah, but there's people who like to go in quiet, in let me not say quiet, but they like to go like in restaurants and coffee place, donuts or whatever, Dunkin' Donuts, and go sit there and do some work. If you enjoy those kinds of things, those are the kind of things that I'm talking about. Like, you need to understand yourself, know why you do the things that you do. If you're the kind of person that likes to wake up in the morning, say 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and have some quiet time, maybe study, maybe go for a run, or that is when you want to, like, do your journaling or whatever. If you like to go to nursing home and visit with the old people, maybe on the weekend once a month or something like that, why do you do the things that you do? You have to understand those things before you even get in a relationship, because if you're not having an understanding of yourself and why you do the things that you do, when you get in a relationship and somebody wonders why you're doing those things, they'll be like, what is this? Why do you do the things that you do? And so these are some of the things that will start causing issues, because they will think like maybe you don't want to spend time with them. If you are probably, going to sit somewhere in a restaurant or in a coffee place just to go do your work. So you got to understand yourself, why you do the things that you do. That way, when you meet this person, okay, you can even be upfront with them and say, hey, if you see me do A, B, C, D, that is who I am, that is how I do things, or that is maybe how I bring calmness to me, or whatever it is. And also the fact that you understand where you're coming from. Like, if you're going to school, okay, and you understand maybe you have another year or two before you finish that school, you gotta bring these things up front, because if you don't, then you get in a relationship with somebody and you get lost in that relationship, because you guys know, when you first meet somebody and the butterflies and in your body, and you just want to spend every little single minute with them, and you get lost with them in terms of your time, your finances, because maybe you're spending all this money trying to please this person, you know and before you realize it, time has flown by. Maybe you haven't accomplished any of the goals that you wanted to accomplish. Maybe you even dropped school. So yeah, you gotta have a clear, good understanding of yourself before you even involve somebody else. Okay. And I'm not just talking about thinking that you have a clear understanding of yourself. No, to really scrutinize yourself and ask yourself, of the things that you do, the patterns. Look at the patterns in your life. Are you the kind of person that goes early to bed? Why do you go early to bed? Are you the person that stays up late in the night? Why do you do that? Are you the kind of person that must have their cup of coffee in the morning before people start talking to you? All that kind of stuff. Understand why you do what you do, the patterns of the different things that you do in your life. Why do you do them? Because that will really help you when now you start relating somebody else and they're wondering, why do you do thing A, thing B, thing C? You can easily explain yourself why you do what you do, and the possibility that maybe some adjustment may be made, or maybe it may not be made, so that they can understand what they're dealing with, Okay. So, not to dwell so much on that fact of how important it is to first understand yourself before you think of joining anybody in a relationship. Know yourself very well, have a good understanding of yourself. Oh, Dennis. Estienne, how are you? You say you're beautiful like Homer. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Amma is my sister. She's my mentor. She's my coach. I'm telling you, ever since I met Amma, my life has changed. And even to have this opportunity for me to come here and share with you guys and learn together, you know, it's an opportunity that I wouldn't have had if I didn't meet her. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me on this broadcast. All right. So, point number two is the fact that you have to be stable mentally. You can't enter a relationship if you're not stable mentally. Okay. If you have things that are bothering you, things that have to do maybe with your past relationship, things that have to do with your current life, maybe you're trying to figure out your school. Maybe you're trying to figure out your finances. Maybe you're trying to figure out your relationship with your family members and all that. If you don't have stability of mind, it's very hard to be in a relationship with somebody because it's possible that this person will be talking to you and you're zoned out, or you're not even mindful of the things that this person is talking to you about, and you maybe even emotionally disconnect with them because mentally you're not there. you know if you're busy, maybe working 2 3 jobs, if you're busy with school, if you're busy with just trying to get yourself situated with life and all that, and you know that you're not mentally stable, mentally there to be in a relationship with somebody, please don't waste their time. you know it's okay to pass on a relationship if, for one, the qualities that you're looking in the other person that are not there, or for two, if you truly feel that you are not able, or you don't have the mental capacity and mental space to be with somebody, just be honest with yourself and be honest with them and be like, hey, I'm not in a mental state where I can have a relationship right now. Maybe another time, if that person is still around, well and good. Maybe not. You could probably meet somebody else down the line, but do not do yourself a disservice by going into a relationship when you are mentally not in the space to do that, because you'll not be able to connect with that person emotionally when your mind is not there. Okay. You have to be at least financially stable to take care of your own affairs. Okay. Even if you're not able to take care of a whole family, you should be at least able to take care of yourself. This idea of young men and women getting into relationship, especially us ladies, the idea of getting into relationship with men and expecting them to take care of all your financial needs, it needs to stop. It's not fair. You know, Men go through so much stress to try and get themselves in a financially stable position. I know they take pride in taking care of their women, but, and I'm talking this from a really, really clean heart. I don't mean to be offensive or anything. I truly believe with all my heart that women should be financially independent. I know. Mhm. It may be foreign to some people because they still believe in a woman getting married and going over to your husband's house and letting your husband taking care of your needs and blah 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 blah. You guys know, most of you are from Africa. There's that tendency of, yeah, maybe not in here, but in Africa, they do that. They will tell the girl, go get married, go to your husband's house, and your husband is supposed to take care of all the needs, which most men, like I say, they proudly do that, or they proudly did that. But we are in the 21st century, for heaven's sake. We all have hands, we all have heads, We all have technology all around us. Okay? There is every opportunity for you to contribute and help. But first of all, you should have financial independence for yourself, not even for your future spouse or your kids or anything like that. You should have financial independence for yourself. If you ever get in a relationship and things are not working out, that should not be a reason why you're stuck in that relationship, because the person is the one providing all your needs. Before you get in any relationship, make sure you're financially able to take care of yourself. Even if you're not able to raise all this money to take care of a family, be able to take care of yourself. Let it not be a reason why somebody is mistreating you in a relationship or in a marriage, and you can't excuse yourself, you know, and leave. And that brings me to the other point. You know, as a person, whether a woman or man, you gotta love yourself enough. Don't you think that the other person is the one that is gonna be showing you the love? Of course, there is that love that you're gonna share between each other. But there's the love that you love yourself for who you are. You love your eyes, you love your nose, you love your hands, you love your curves and everything in you. You have to love yourself as a person first. And yes, I do understand that there are situations where people get so emotionally broken, maybe by the words that was spoken to them by maybe somebody in a past relationship, maybe a parent. Yeah, sometimes parents can say some very hurtful words. And so these things leave dents and traumas in our lives, and we don't even realize it. And so this affects how you view yourself as a person. It affects how you love yourself. Because before you can love somebody wholesomely, learn how to love yourself for who you are by first understanding who you are, okay? Then love yourself for who you are with all your deficits and with all your positives. Because if you can't love you first for who you are, who do you really think will come and love you the way you would love yourself? Nobody. Even your spouse, you cannot give them that task of loving you like that. You can't. Nobody is going to be everything to you. But you can try to be everything that you can to yourself. Love yourself. Because when you love yourself and you find yourself in situations whereby you're not feeling loved, you're not feeling appreciated, you're not feeling respected, you're being emotionally abused or whatever kind of abuse, if you love yourself and you're able to take care of yourself financially, honey, you just need to get up and go. You don't need to take anything with you. You don't need to bring no furniture, no nothing, anything that you have bought. As long as you have what you have in here and you can be able to take care of yourself financially, get up and go. I, I'm not here. I'm not here to advocate any like people should leave their marriages, relationship, and all that. I'm just trying to say, be financially independent. Be um, able to love yourself enough. If you ever find yourself in a situation whereby it doesn't align with your values, um, with your values, with who you know you are, then you can easily excuse yourself instead of leaving yourself in a situation whereby it's like you have no choice. It's like the other person is your savior. No. The first thing you have to remember is that you are your own savior in anything, no matter what it is. It's not even your parents, it's not your siblings, it's not even your immediate family members, not even your spouse. You are your first rescue. in any situation, whether it's financial wise, whether it's in terms of you going to school, educating yourself and becoming a better person, whatever it is, you are your first rescue person. You have to remember that. Your parents, your siblings, your spouse, they are all there as a secondary. But number one, it's up to you to rescue yourself. All right. The other thing, I talked about the idea that you have to be self aware. We talked about the fact that you have to be stable mentally. We've talked about that you have to be stable financially. Not only being stable financially, but you have to know how to manage finances. Because some people get money and before you realize, before you blink, boom, all the money is gone. So it's not just about having the finances, but do you know how to manage these finances in your arms? What goes where? What percentage goes where? How do you grow the little that you have so that it can become something bigger, you know, so that you can also share with other people. So yeah, being stable financially, but also knowing how to manage those finances before you get in a relationship. That is what we are talking about here. We are talking about what are some of the things that you bring to the table as a person, a man or woman. What do you bring to the table? You know, first of all, understand yourself. Second of all, make sure that you have a stable mind. Your mental status is in the capacity to handle a relationship. Make sure that you're financially able to take care of yourself, okay, and how to manage those relationships, because the person that you're going to get in the relationship is not their job to teach you how to manage money. They may teach you, okay, but you as a person need to learn that on your own first. When you meet the other person, then you can complement one another, learn an idea here, you know, borrow an idea there and all that. But it's your primary job to be financially independent and to know how to manage your money. And the next point we talked about is loving yourself. You have to love yourself so that you can be able to recognize when you're in situations and relationships that are not in line with who you are and your values. And you can easily remove yourself. Why? Because you love yourself. Why? Because you are financially able to. Why? Which leads me to my next point. Because you know what stress is and you know how to manage it. And one of the way that you can manage stress is removing yourself from a stressful situation. Okay? So yes, you got to know how to manage your stress before you get in a relationship. Some people don't know how to manage stress at all. They'll just lash at anybody and everybody in their face. And so when you do that, you're going to be scaring people away from you. So you got to be able to recognize when stress is kicking in and have some avenues of relieving your stress before it starts spilling to other people. Managing stress is very, very important. Trust me, you're going to be experiencing stress in one way or another as a person, as an individual, man or woman, you're going to be experiencing stress. Whether you are stressing about your school, whether you're stressing about your car being broken down, whether you are stressing about even owning that car in the first place, whether you're stressing about getting money for ABCD, or, you know, stress from family members, stress from your job, you're going to be getting stressed in one way or the other. The question is, how are you managing this stress? Do you have any coping mechanisms when you get stressed? What are some of the coping mechanisms that you have? Do you go for a walk? Do you go for a ride? Do you go for a run? Do you want to call a friend and talk to them endlessly about what happened? What do you want to do when you're in a stressful situation? Do you get a journal and journal it down? How do you relieve your stress? Because you do not want to boil over and spill it all over the people around you. Because guess what you're going to be doing to that new person that you want to date? You're chasing them away. And what are they going to know? Anytime that you're stressed, what are they going to do? They're going to get out of your way. Instead of you, instead of them coming closer so that they can help you, deal with the stress of in your life, what they're going to do is they're going to be getting out of the way for you, because they know that once you get angry, or once you're stressed out and you become angry, it's gonna be spilling over to them, and you don't want that. You want these people close to you so that they can help you manage the stress in your life the best way possible. Okay, so you need to learn to know how to manage your stress, find some coping mechanisms. Okay, whatever it is, find a way of managing that stress so that it doesn't spill over to other people. Learn it before you even meet somebody else or that person that you want to be with. Okay, all right. What's the other thing that we want to talk about here? The other thing is that you need to acknowledge your past. Okay, acknowledge your past and the things that happened in your past that you have absolute control, no control over. There could be some trauma related issues. There are people that maybe went through sexual abuse, from, name it. I mean, let's be honest. Kids get abused and molested by the closest people within the family. You agree with me? Okay. The people that we say, oh, these are cousins, or these are sisters or stepsisters or stepbrothers or whatever, the people that they hang around with, these are the people that end up molesting kids. And in most cases, people don't come out and say, this is what happened, until maybe years later. And what this does is, they keep it inside and they never deal with it. And by the time they meet a spouse and they're with this spouse, they're not able to either relate well, in terms of their sexual life, because they never dealt with what happened with them in the past. So if you have any kind of uh, traumas that happened in your past, and I'm not talking about just, molestation or sexual abuse or something like that. It could be any kind of trauma that you've gone through in the past. Even if you were in a past relationship with you were married before and you guys had issues and you had to divorce, you have to deal with those things. Even if it's just um, you were in a relationship with somebody in college and things didn't work out, and now you want to move on to somebody else. It's always good to take time and evaluate and ask yourself, why didn't that relationship work? And of course, we'll jump right in and start saying what things the other person did. Okay, they did this, they were abusive, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. But it's also very, very important, now that this person is out of your life, ask yourself, what did I contribute in making this relationship go down? And what did I also do well, so that you can do even better going forward? So the problem is not what you did well, the problem is, what possibly did you do to contribute to the end of that relationship? And if you can figure those out, and if there's something that you can do about it to, to make you a better person as you get to interact with another person in future, so that you're not repeating the same mistakes. Or if that person kept telling you, hey, you yell all the time, you nag all the time, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff, you actually need to stop for a while and observe your patterns, observe your behaviors. What are some of the things that you do at certain times? Maybe when you're stressful, when you're stressed and you don't even realize, what are some of those things that you do that really get on other people's nerves? And try to see, okay, is there something that I can do about this? Give me 1 second. Is there something that I can do about this to change, to make me a better person before I meet somebody else in future? Okay. Yeah, so don't always jump into looking what the other person did to end the relationship, ask yourself, what was my contributing factors in this? What can I do better going forward in case I meet somebody else? Okay. All right. We are almost wrapping up. Um, so we talked about know yourself, have a stable mind, be stable financially. Okay. Learn to manage your stress, um, loving yourself. Okay. And I kind of talked about the fact that it's important to know how to spend time alone. Don't always be on somebody's neck, even if you're new in a relationship with them and you feel like you need to spend all this time with them. Give them space and give yourself space and time so that you can reflect even how the relationship is going so that you can decompress. But I was there too. But now that I'm older, I realize the importance of having alone time. When you're in a relationship or when you're trying to get in a relationship, always try to have some personal time. Yes, enjoy all the time that you want together, but have a time whereby you sit down by yourself, you reflect, you decompress, you remind yourself again, where are you going? Is this person meeting the list of qualities that you are looking for? Because sometimes we meet somebody and you think that they have those qualities that you're looking for, you know, and you tell yourself, oh, I don't think this one is meeting. Oh, this one is not up to standard. Of course, you don't want to judge somebody based on that. But there are those ones that you just see and you're like, oh, this is the red flag that they were talking about, or this is the red flag that I know is going to lead to this downfall. But because you've already involved yourself emotionally, you know, it becomes very difficult to take steps back and be like, hey, this is, I don't think this is going to work for me in the long run. So you got to be very intentional about spending time by yourself so that you can be able to reflect and even see, is this person that I'm dating, is this person that I'm in a relationship with the kind of person that I really want to be with? And is there anything that I'm doing on my end to make this relationship better, or am I doing everything on my end to, you know, like, am I doing what I can to make this relationship better, or am I not contributing anything to make this relationship better? I guess you guys understand what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah. And I talked about the fact that you need to acknowledge the traumas that you had in the past. Okay. And when you're going to a new relationship, you want to check that baggage at the door. Okay. Because the person that you're going to be with, they have no idea about that past of yours. That is why it's important for you to deal with it before you actually meet somebody else. Whatever you need to do, if you need to see a therapist, if you need to confront that person, whatever you need to do, just don't carry it around. And then without even knowing, you're spilling over maybe the angry feelings or whatever it is over to this new person that you met, or in this relationship that you are, and they have nothing to do with it. They don't even know, or you're holding back in one way or another because of what happened to you in the past. So it's important to, as much as you acknowledge what happened, some of these things you just want to check them at the door. Check them out, leave them out there when you're getting into a new relationship, and give that new relationship a chance because you understand who you are, what you're looking for, in that other person. And you give it your all and hope for the best. No, we don't hope anymore. You have to be intentional. I don't use the word hope anymore, because when you say hope, to me, it's like, it's like you have no control over it. It's like, okay, if it happens, it happens. It's like you have no control whatsoever about it. No, when you go in a relationship, you have some control over it. You have you are in charge of the relationship as much as the other person is in charge of the relationship. So you determine what you want. You go in it level headed, knowing what you want, knowing what you have to offer. If you go in and you're offering all this, but you're not getting what you are looking for in return, then you can easily say, and I'm mainly talking about people who are looking for partners, looking to be in a relationship that could most likely lead into marriage or something like those are the kinds of that's the kind of information that we're talking about here today. I'm not talking about married people. Married people, deal with your wahala in your marriage unless you're being abused, and you just feel like you can't do it, then but once you're married, you can't just up and go any minute. Your husband gets you upset for one reason, you pack your bags and go. No, that you can't do that. Yeah, but while you're still out there and you're still trying to search for the right person, do yourself a favor. Okay, do yourself a favor and have a good understanding of yourself. Know exactly who you are, what you want, where you're going. Why do I do the things that I do? Love yourself. Okay, know your value, so that when you get yourself in a situation and you find that you're not being valued, you find that you're not being shown love the way that you need to be loved, you find that somebody's abusing you mentally, financially, or whatever, you can easily excuse yourself. Okay. Yep. So that's what we're talking about here today. You gotta bring something to the table and know exactly what you're bringing to the table. You can't just expect all these things of the other person, of the partner that you're looking for, where you can't even offer maybe even half of those things that you're asking on the list. You gotta come with something. And then whatever that other person comes with, you can blend it together and work it out. Okay, but don't have too much expectation on other people when you yourself haven't even worked on yourself, when you don't even have a clear understanding of who you are, what do you want. Okay. Yeah. So that's it today, guys. I can only see the last comment from Dennis. I don't even know if there's anybody here. It's hard for me to tell. Um, but I really want to believe that there's people who are keeping me company here today. If there is, you can put a comment and say hi. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. If there's anybody here that would want to say hi, please do. Again, this is your girl, Betty Small. My page is Learn and Grow with Betty Small, but I do come here on Amma Manson's show, or network rather, and I do a couple of shows a week when I'm able to. Sometimes I'm not able to, but most of the times I try to do that. Okay? But it's been fun. I hope that what we talked about here today can benefit one person or the other in one way or another. I hope that my time here was not wasted. Okay? All right, guys. Without further ado, we will call it a day. And I hope to see you guys here soon. Alrighty. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.